one police who shoot at criminals who are pointing guns at the police. Any criminal who points a gun at the police officer must see his maker immediately, because we have no room for criminals who undermine law enforcement. Comrades, Alexander and Everton skyscraper city project is going to be piloted in those areas when we take over government. We are going to make sure that all the hostels, George Koch, Chippies Town, and everywhere else where there is a hostel, we are not going to just renovate the hostels. We are going to convert them into family units, and we are also going to allow the women to have access into ownership of those family units in the hostels. Comrades, Gauteng will no longer be a province. There will no longer be a province called Limpopo. There won't be a province called Mpumalanga. We don't want provinces in the EFF. Provinces are a waste of money. Today, no one can tell me as to what is the role of the Premier. What is the role of the MEC? Mayors are more important and play important role better than the premiers and MECs. Councillors play more important role better than the MECs. We don't want provincial legislatures. Moshe, you must start looking for a job, because there won't be a legislature. Legislature to legislate which law? Because all of us must have one law, and that law must be made by the Parliament of South Africa. There can't be a law of Gauteng. There can't be a law of Western Cape. There must be one law under one president, under one cabinet, and the rest of them, there must be municipalities under mayors and under councillors, and deliver services directly to our people without any money for nothing. Comrades, we want free education, and that education must be decolonized. We don't want to learn about Jan van Riebeck. We want to learn about Subukwe. We want to learn about Nyerere. We want to learn about Steve Biko. We want education that will be biased to Pan-Africanism. We want education that will make us proud to be black people, not education that will make us to be inferior. Let me tell you, under the EFF, Dr. Ndozi, there will not be maths literacy. Maths literacy is misleading. It's not maths. They are giving us maths literacy because they are following what Verwoerd said. Verwoerd said, what will an African child do with maths? Comrades, you don't have to pass maths, but do maths. In Gauteng, we are going to make sure that all schools, mathematics is compulsory. We don't care whether you do geography, whether you do history, whether you do biblical studies, you are going to learn mathematics, because we believe that that which Jan van Riebeck denied us must be given to our people. Jan van Riebeck said, and Verwoerd said, and Malani said, black people cannot learn mathematics. We are going to teach mathematics to a black child. Comrades, the Student Command, we salute you for fighting battles in all institutions of higher learning. We are proud of the Student Command because you are in charge of more than 80% of the campuses all over South Africa. Every campus is under the EFF. The youth of South Africa, the young intelligentsia has chosen the EFF as the future. And you must ask the question, why? Young people only choose things that make sense. Only the EFF makes sense today to young people. That's why Student Command, don't disappoint us. Don't drink alcohol. Don't be drunk in power. Service the youth of our universities. Every president of the Student Command SRC must pass this year, because if you don't pass, you don't qualify anymore to be in the SRC of the EFF. You must lead by example. Comrades, Johannesburg, Commissar Mgini, we are going to expropriate hijacked buildings, renovate them, and create student accommodation for all our students everywhere else in South Africa. And that student accommodation must have hot water, must have Wi-Fi, must have the necessary learning material, because students don't only learn in class, they learn 24 hours. They do research 24 hours. Comrades, we want to send our condolences to the family of a student who was killed in Braamfontein. We are saying to them, under the EFF government, no child shall be shot by mistake because criminals have taken over the streets of Braamfontein. In honor, we'll make sure that we protect the students and the staff that continue to provide teaching to our children. Comrades, no graduate must be unemployed. When you graduate, you must go to work immediately. When you graduate, there must be a job for you. Education, Commissar Mbuyiseni, must have practicals. It must have theory, it must have practicals. When you go to practicals in whatever field of your study, you must automatically be linked with that firm, because that's where you belong. However, if we can't give them jobs, we must give them graduate stipend, because you must not go to school and come back to become an ordinary fellow like the rest who didn't go to school. We want to make sure that you are paid according to your qualifications. Comrades, today they say all young people who are unemployed and don't have a source of income, they are given 350. Why should I be given 350, the same amount, with a person who don't have a degree, who doesn't have a diploma, who doesn't have a matric? Those who don't have matric must get 350. Those who have a matric must get 1,000. Those who have a degree must get 3.5. Those who have honors must have 4.5. Those with masters must have 5.5, because we have gone to school, and going to school must pay, and must pay in a literal meaning. Comrades, all those children who are going to school, they must get uniform free of charge. Why do you say there is no, you say to parents, you are poor, your children won't pay school fees because they are poor. But when it comes to buying uniform, they are not poor, they must buy uniform. It can't be they are poor throughout. We don't want children who receive free education to buy school uniform and school shoes. Comrades, we are going to double the social grants of our gogos. No gogo must go home without 4,500, because those people look after our families. We are going to double the money of child grant, because those children must also be supported so that they don't become criminals. Comrades, we are going to pay teachers. We used to respect teachers because they were well paid and they were looking after themselves. I'm very passionate about this issue of paying teachers well and paying police well. Because last week, when I went to Seychelles, I met my teacher who bought Corolla when I was still at school. And he's still driving the same Corolla today. When I asked him why, he said he doesn't qualify for a new car. How can you be a teacher and don't qualify for a car? How can you be a teacher and not qualify for a house? How can you be a teacher and not have a medical aid? We are going to restore the dignity of the profession of teaching, of police, of nurses, of doctors, of all civil servants. Comrades, we must make sure that whatever we are doing here in Gauteng, we must defend the gains of 1994 and deliver victory. There is a family called the Oppenheimer family. That Oppenheimer family is paying millions to buy South Africa. How can you give Rice Mzansi so many millions even when they don't have a track record of being a legitimate political party? The Oppenheimer, they are wasting their time. They are putting millions under Herman Mashaba. Herman Mashaba is a fool who can't think. He was a mayor here in Johannesburg, and we were controlling him when he was a mayor. We told him what to do when he was a mayor. So the Oppenheimers are investing millions in a useless person. The reason why they want to divide a black vote, Herman Mashaba can't speak for a reason. If Herman Mashaba comes to parliament, if he's lucky, Honorable Ndlozi, Mashaba, if he comes to parliament, the man can't speak. And when you have one seat in parliament, you are given 3 minutes. Mashaba is going to stand there and say, Honorable Speaker, the time is over. Time is over. Sit down. You are putting money in a man who will never say anything in parliament. Let's unite black people to fight against the Oppenheimer money. Let us not be bought by the Oppenheimers. Let us not be misled by the Oppenheimers. For too long, the Oppenheimers have controlled our country. We must go and claim our country back from the Oppenheimers. 29 May, we are going to take our country from the Oppenheimers. We are going to take our country from the Ruperts. The Muslim community. Why would a Muslim vote for Rice Mzansi? Why would a Muslim vote for Action SA? Why would a Muslim vote for One South Africa? Why would a Muslim vote for TA? Because all those people are supported by the Israeli money that is killing our people in Palestine. There is no organization in South Africa that can stop the genocide in Palestine except the EFF. The EFF said to Parliament, remove the embassy of Palestine. Till today, the government of the ANC did not remove Palestine. Why? ANC is pretending to be fighting against apartheid Israel. There is only one organization in South Africa that all Muslims and all peace-loving South Africans must vote for, and that organization is the EFF. Fighters, let's go to the ground. Let's not be scared of the enemy. The enemy is shaking. The attack on the EFF in Ekurhuleni is evidence that the enemy is shaking. They are shaken by the EFF here in Gauteng. Comrade Ndozi, Comrade Lien, thank you very much for giving our people the hope they've been longing for. From today, the people of Soweto, they will know that their lives are going to change for better. Comrades, leaders of the EFF in Citibank, leaders of the EFF in Western, leaders of the EFF in Ekurhuleni, Tshwane and Johannesburg, only the unity of purpose will deliver victory of the EFF. There is no time for petty squabble. There is no time for gossip. There is no time for dividing each other. There is time for door to door, to emtwini. When we live here, we are going to do door to door and sell the message of economic freedom in our lifetime. Tell them freedom is coming on the 29th of May. Tell them we are going to Union Building on the 29th of May. Oppenheimer will never buy the votes